Welcome back, it's Ryzen, and today I'm finally bringing you guys that theory video that I said I was going to do, like, I think it was 2 months ago now, to be honest. So if you missed it, basically I put out a community post and I asked you guys for your theories, and today I'm just going to be reading them. So yeah, I'm just going to pick completely random comments and read them. There actually is enough theories on here for a part 2, so if this video does well, I'll do the part 2 on all of the other comments that you guys left on that post. Then after I get through all the comments on that post and you guys still want more, I could do another post, or just, if you leave comments on this video, I'll use it in the future. So yeah, with all that being said, let's get right into the theories. So for the first theory I'm going to be featuring is a comment from Elite Vivio, and he says, Bomb is the final antagonist of Tower of God. Now this is just a pretty short one, pretty short and simple, so I want to kind of start off with this one. But I've been thinking about this for a while actually, and I actually think that this is what I want. If you guys will remember, I did a video on Jihad versus Yurek Mazino, and in that video, I wrote my own kind of lore for that fight, and in the lore of that fight, at the end, I actually had Yurek Mazino win, and then Bomb killing Yurek to become the new king of the tower. And I don't know, I just think a little twist with Bomb at the end becoming like maybe the replacement of Jihad after he kills him, and then all the other regulars, or not regulars, I guess, everybody else in the tower pretty much has to dethrone Bomb. Or something where basically Bomb just gets pushed too far, he gets twisted, the real dark change, if you will, and he becomes this monster, kind of like White in a way. I think that'd be really, really cool. Will that happen though? Absolutely not. So I guess this is kind of a way to introduce how I'm going to be structuring this video. I'm going to be giving each theory 2 rankings, one ranking for how much I like the theory, and another ranking for how much I think the theory will actually come true. Will Bomb be the final antagonist? No, I think there's probably I have in terms of realism, 2 out of 10. That's just not happening. How much I would like it, I'm going to go 10 out of 10. I would love that to happen. For the next theory, I have a comment from Battle Popcorn, and he says that regulars aren't climbing a tower, they're going down one, and the tower is descending into an ocean. The door opens below Bomb and Rachel, potentially signifying that they're going downward. The tower has a heavy ocean theme, from Shinsu being divine water, the positions, many of the Shinhui being water creatures, and the Sobriquets, I don't know how to say that word, Sobriquet of the famous rankers and family heads being water creatures. Additionally, the pressure of Shinsu increasing on higher floors, like the pressure of the ocean increases as you go down, and this would also mean that the secret to getting outside of the tower is going back past the lower floor somehow. Dang, I actually really like this a lot, actually. This is actually pretty cool because it would also kind of serve to justify the fact that Hedon, which is pretty much implied to be the most important administrator, or one of the strongest, being at the first floor, right? It makes no sense for him to be at the first floor. Why wouldn't he be at the final floor, guarding the tower, the exit, right? It would make sense for him to be there as well. So that's also another thing you could use to prove that theory. I think it's pretty cool, to be honest. I actually really like that concept, especially the concept of the pressure increasing as you go down, just like the ocean. I think that does make sense and it's pretty cool. Do I think it's likely? I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I don't think that's the case. But in terms of how much I like it, I'm going to give it a solid 8. I really do like that concept. I think it would be, it's really sick to say the least. Next up, we have a theory from C. Amalex X26, I don't know how to say the name. He says that the main purpose of the tower is to make another Axis-like being. We know that Fantaminum was first a human, which means that it's possible to become an Axis, and I see that being possible through climbing the entirety of the tower. I think it makes sense since Fantaminum wants the tower to be climbed completely. Bomb in this case would be the person to lead the climb in its entirety, and maybe once he gets there, he would be bestowed some kind of power. That could let him create his own story like other Axis. Dang, this is a pretty interesting one. I have heard this theory plenty of times. I don't really see it as Fantaminum wanting the tower to be climbed completely. I would actually kind of see it as Fantaminum not wanting the tower to be climbed, if that makes sense. I know I did do a theory where Fantaminum is the outside god and he would want the tower to be climbed, and in that video I did claim that Fantaminum was anti-Jihad, so you could go watch that if you want my take on this sort of idea right here. But I think another way you could interpret it would be Fantaminum not killing Jihad because he wants Jihad to remain king so that nobody can climb to the top of the tower, so there won't be another Axis to potentially maybe rival him in power. I think that could be one way you could interpret it, but there are many different ways this could go. In terms of likelihood, I'd say this is actually pretty likely, maybe 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, I guess, for a theory. In terms of how much I like it, I don't really like this concept, to be honest. I really don't. I think scaling the tower should be something more than just simply power. Obviously, I don't want it to be oh, your reward is the friendship and strength you've gained along the way, some stupid like meme One Piece type of stuff. Like, nah, not like that. But I would want it to be something more than becoming an Axis. I think having it become an Axis is kind of cheap, to be honest. So I would want it to be more complex than that. Next up, we have a theory from Propane Man, and he says, I believe that Jihad and Arlen may have been members of the same religion on the outside and worshipped the outside god. But now Jihad believes himself to be the outside god, and when we see the image of Arlen, she looked like she was wearing priestess robes and an earring of the Jihad crest. There was also a Jihad crest on the cave where Baum was resurrected, meaning that either it was there before the Great Warriors entered the tower and Jihad became king, or Arlen had it carved there after she left the tower, which she certainly wouldn't have done if it truly stood for Jihad. Whoa. I'm gonna just stop right there for now. That's really interesting. I've actually never heard this theory before, and I didn't actually read these comments, in preparation. I'm kind of just reading them and reacting to them blind right now, so I actually really think this is very interesting. The Jihad crest potentially standing for like a different religion, and Jihad taking it for himself and manipulating it to kind of refer to himself as a god and to kind of manipulate the tower, really. I think that's a really good idea. Maybe that could lead into something like the bosses, right, with like Wang Nan and Karaka potentially not being directly related to Jihad himself, but maybe being descendants of something from outside of the tower, which Jihad is also a descendant of. So technically they would be related to Jihad, but it wouldn't really be stemming from Jihad itself. It would be stemming from something outside the tower, which I think is a really, really cool, man. To continue the comment, perhaps when Jihad completed his revolution and saw a vision of himself as the almighty god king of the tower, he began to believe that he was in fact the god he worshipped all along, and ended up adopting the crest of the original as his own. Arlen did say something that he was blinded by falsehoods, and Enryu, a messenger of the outside god, was personally offended that he built a shrine to himself on Arlen's floor, and called himself the false king. Dang, dude, that's also pretty convincing evidence, if I'm being honest. That's pretty good. Propane Man also in the same comment brought another theory. A smaller theory that I have is that one of the main reasons Traumeré wants Baum is not just so that he could have him breed with his daughters and create a stronger family, but because he is lonely and wants a non-trifle around him to talk to. Although the family heads may have gathered to discuss what to do about Baum, I don't get the impression that they got together much since they stopped climbing the tower. He's also complained about others leaving him before after they fell in love, and doesn't do much other than sit around curled up in his chair in the dark all day, so it seems rather apparent that he's lonely. If Baum joined his family, however, it may let him experience what it's like to have a son that he actually considers a human like him. So I definitely do think that this could be the case, but at the same time, if he didn't want Baum to fall victim of the trap that all the other people that have quote-unquote betrayed him in the past have, why would he want Baum to get married? You know, it doesn't really make much sense. I think maybe he would be more straightforward with his intentions and say, I'll adopt you as one of my as my son, or something like that. I don't know, because I don't know, that might be a little weird, to be honest, but the whole situation is a little weird. He's trying to make Baum his son-in-law, so why doesn't he just say, I'll take you under my wing as an apprentice, and then in that way he could try to form a father-son relationship with him, you know? It's a little bit weird, and I think Baum would be more likely to accept if Traumeré just approached him simply without, doing any crazy stuff, and was just like, hey, I want to take you under my wing and teach you and, help you get stronger to protect your friends. I think Traumeré is probably intelligent enough to know that if he wanted a true father-son relationship with the guy, that would be the way to go. So, yeah, I don't think that this theory is true, but I do like the concept, and I do like the implications that it has for Traumeré's character, so I will definitely be going in more into detail with that in the Traumeré character analysis. Now, for the final theory of the video, I have a theory from Raikumo, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the boy. Here's his theory. So this theory is really long, so I'm going to be trying to summarize everything as best as possible. Theory is titled, David Hockney is V. Where did V die? On the floor of death. Where did Hockney live before? On the floor of death. Number 1. Hockney's real eyes are the 3 red eyes, just like the Jihad symbol. And maybe the meaning of it could mean the friendship between Jihad and V. Like, they might be like Goku and Vegeta. Many times they argue, other times they're bros, but most of the time they're rivals who compete to get stronger. Evidence number 2. His soul is stored in the spirit room first, but when they found the thorn, he changed and made the painting of it with his soul stored in the painting after he refused to help Helljo, and Helljo got angry and ripped out Hockney's real eyes. Point number 3. Mata brought Hockney to Grand Deja and he decided to give him his eyes to him, but Hockney mostly lost his memories after his eyes were implanted in him, and after that he was able to leave the floor of death. So the big point here is how he lost his memories so he wouldn't actually know that he was V. There are also 3 reasons why Hockney has gotten drastically weaker and he's not in his prime. Number 1, he lost his soul. Number 2, he lost his memories, so therefore he could lose, knowledge on how to control Shinsu and fight like he could before. 3, there is a chance that he's been slowly losing his Shinsu over time. So in a nutshell, he's pretty much incomplete without his soul, memories, and Shinsu that he accumulated. As for how V got revived, Enryu's Shinsu can bring dead people back to life, so after Enryu killed the admin, he went to V's grave and decided to use the Shinsu to bring V back to life. So he was revived and Enryu made a deal to V to ask him to protect the thorn and wait for Bomb to come and take it. But due to V's selfless personality, he requested Enryu erase his memories and make V physically weaker to regular levels so that he could start a new life. This could be so that he could atone for his sin of pretty much killing himself and leaving his wife all alone. And yeah, that's about it for that theory. I honestly really like that theory. I think it's pretty cool. In terms of how much I like it, I give it like a solid 7 or 8. But in terms of likelihood, I'm sorry, man. Hey, Raikumo is one of the most legendary members of the Tower of God community. I'll tell you that. I love the guy, but man, likelihood, I'm gonna give this like a 1 or 2 out of 10. I don't really see this happening, but it is a cool theory after all, and I do think there are some pretty interesting justifications for it, but overall I don't really think that it's real. So yeah, that's about it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want another viewer theory video, definitely be sure to leave a comment, tell me you want more, leave a like on the video, share the video with a friend, etc. It really does help out a lot. Also, join my Discord, man. We always have cool conversations in there. It's a good time. Links in the description. Shout out to Olibinus for being a patron. Shout out to Demon God Kane and Nicholas for being a regular tier patrons. And a massive, massive shout out to Gavin and Remorsefuls for being access tier patrons. I really do appreciate the support from every single one of you guys, and it means the world to me, man. Check out the tiers for the Patreon. You get access to live stream VODs and exclusive content and even like video requests and stuff. It all means the world to me, man. So definitely be sure to check out everything in the description. And yeah, take care, guys.